Hmm. Alright, we'll see how this looks. I fucked with my encoder a little bit. So anyway, I'm taking my ass back to finish this pirate hack quest. No, not allowed. I think the bot was so close to Gadgetzan that it didn't attack back. That was probably why. But, you know, I'll take an easy kill any way I can get it. I'm probably just gonna start going leading with Frostbolt again. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. I'll test it out on this guy. Fuck. Inconclusive. Oh, what's going on over here? You look like you could use some help. Server's kind of laggy, huh? I helped. Any drop frames? None. Anyway, how's McGold make any decent videos lately or no? Probably not. It's very rare. Nope. Or did they kill him too? Damn. I'm sure to get that Ukrainian private server vibe from my from the lag that I'm experiencing right now.
Doing dungeon guides, and I'll probably do some one-offs.
This is so funny because like
I deliberately clicked that one.
the 3 most painful quests in Classic WoW. You know what 3 of those are? I'm gonna tell you guys what they are right now. Every single one.
There you are.
Like this one.
7, and you've quickly realized, oh my god, there are no quests. So
that's not true because you're sitting in ZF farming all day because it's Classic WoW and not vanilla anymore. It's no longer an adventure. It's a
7, and you've quickly.
Hold on. What do you say?
There you are. You're level 47, and you've quickly realized, oh my god, there are no quests. So
that's not true because you're sitting in ZF farming all day because it's Classic WoW and not vanilla anymore. It's no longer an adventure. It's a race to the finish line. And you know what, whenever you get to the finish line, you get to clear a raid with bosses with 1 mechanic once a week to not get the gear that you wanted because the bosses only drop 2 items. And you know what? You're going to be there next week. And it takes you an hour to clear it, but it takes you 4 hours to prepare because you want to get all the world buffs for no actual reason other than to brag about getting parses in a game that's completely RNG driven and skillless. Duh. I mean, duh. Come on.
you do what you gotta do. You grind. You grind for hours. You grind so much that if you kill 1 more mob, your brain is going to go numb.
Yeah,
but
something
you
like
kill
that.
1 more,
Shit.
then something drops.
Oh.
Some sort of metal egg beacon thing. You go towards the cave that it tells you to go to, and you don't know yet, but it's too late.
I'm just gonna use this scroll.
With these, dude, is that they have the escort quests in Classic WoW, and like the mob is moving at a normal speed, and then for whatever reason, it fucking does a 90-degree angle, and it beelines it for a different direction, and then it comes out of your range, and it fails the quest. Like that's what the game is. That's what it is.
You've already lost.
Yep.
3 beacons.
Oh.
3 escort quests and 3 painful experiences. The chicken escort quests in Classic WoW are the quests that will change man. The recommended level for these quests are around level 45 to 48. And if you choose to accept the challenge,
level 70.
prepare yourself.
Yeah, do
Maybe
them
I'm
level
being a
70.
bitch, man. Let's just talk about the Paralysis one first.
Okay.
So the item needed to start this quest
Just
drops
some
off
of the
any of the
gorillas.
mobs in the zone, and I'd
Yeah.
recommend to be around level 45.
Yeah.
The quest item will point you to this Yeti cave, and if you want to
Yeah,
be
this is a lot
efficient,
of fun.
you can do the market quality quest which has you picking up Yeti fur here as well.
Very
Right through
efficient.
the cave, and you'll discover the first chicken. For all of these
How
escort
about
quests,
that?
I'd recommend having a friend help you out because you can easily get overwhelmed at some points. Talk to the
That's
chicken.
what's so crazy is like in fucking Classic, you have like 2 or 3 normal mobs going after you, and you're already having a bad time.
Start the escort.
I got a life force! I like to fight too!
Oh shit.
This is probably the easiest
Oh,
and shortest
shit.
escort out of the trio. The first wave of enemies that you'll fight is 3 Yetis. On your journey to the shore, you'll also be attacked by 3 gorillas and 4 gnolls.
I had to
During
help
these
my mom do
ambushes,
this
really
quest.
pay attention to the chicken
Back in
to make
vanilla
sure he's
WoW.
not being wailed on. So if the chicken walks in a straight line, it will take like 9 minutes. Of course, that isn't
And
really
this is laggy.
realistic at all, and it doesn't really take into consideration
Jesus.
all the time it takes to fight the mobs, have the chicken aggro onto mobs, then
Dude, like, classic WoW is such a good game for stalling. Like, it stalls on its own. You don't even need to do anything. It just stalls. It's
run
great.
back to the root and just, yeah, that might seem like a short time, but when you
Yeah.
actually do it, it feels like an eternity.
It sure does.
Go. So in total, this quest will probably take around 18 minutes or so. And yeah, that isn't really super long for classic standards.
Bro, that's like a fucking Mythic Plus dungeon. That's a Mythic Plus dungeon. Oh, is that Krindor? I didn't even realize that. I was just kind of going, I just like went by. Yeah, it's like a Mythic Plus fucking dungeon.
But escorting the chicken can be a
Jesus.
really frustrating experience that feels like you're watching paint dry. So this escort is especially dangerous for Horde because it ends right at the dock that takes you to Feathermoon Stronghold.
Horde are stupid.
And that's the
what they
Alliance
get.
base in the zone. This
Yep.
is also a good time to mention that the opposite faction can just ruin your day and kill the chicken. And if you're level like 47, what the hell are you gonna do to level 60?
Wait, they can kill the chicken? Jesus Christ.
Nothing. So you're basically
Oh,
completely
nothing,
at
okay.
their will. Next up is the Hinterlands quest. You get the quest item from any of the mobs within
Man,
the
I
zone.
hated this shit.
He's chilling on the hill
This
in
was
the
the
middle of this
worst.
lake. These chickens have a bad habit of just running off far, far away to attack a random mob,
Yep.
so be ready to help them out so they don't kill themselves.
Yep. They're just
I
like,
see you, enemy. I see you, enemy.
Hey, wait, where are you going? Hey, come back here. Hey,
We know we're under attack.
Where you
We know it. We're breaking the conditioning.
During the quest, you'll be attacked by 3 moonkin
Jesus
and
Christ.
The path the chicken takes
That's
kinda
what they
just
do, by
meanders
the
around
way.
the forest, and he likes to wander over to the elite troll village, so you might pick
Oh
up a
my
wandering
fucking
elite if you're
God.
unlucky. Eventually,
Yeah.
he'll reach the shoreline of the zone. For this quest,
This
it's
is
more
good.
dangerous for the Alliance because you have to go down the path
Yep.
the Horde must take to get
To get
into
out
the
of their
zone
area.
from their village.
Yep.
The total time for this escort, if he walks in a totally straight line, is
Mhm.
12 minutes and 30 seconds. But with the added time of dealing with mobs, let's just say it's around 22 minutes.
This video sucks.
like, it's actually crazy to me. Like, people think like this. People legit fucking. I will buy that. That looks so comfy. Holy shit, that looks comfy. It's a bathrobe. Well, I can't wear. Actually, maybe I could wear that around in public. I mean, at this point.
Tension of likes, of DMs from guys. What's very, very interesting is that these women are receiving that attention from guys who normally wouldn't, like, I know this sounds horrible, who normally wouldn't want to be seen with them in the daytime, because it's kind of inconsequential for, let's say, with this autistic rating scale, you know, rating people out of 10, but like
Yeah.
an 8 out of 10 guy, it's not unheard of that he would message and try to just hook up with a 5 out of 10 girl. What really should happen is that a 5 out of 10 guy should message the 5 out of 10 girl, and both of these people are essentially perfect for each other. But because of these platforms reducing the consequences of a man showing interest to a woman who he normally wouldn't want to be with, an 8 can message a 5. And this is where the real problem begins, because this 5 out of 10 girl, and I know it sounds stupid as fuck saying,
Nah, that's not it. I mean, yeah, I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I don't think so. I can't be seen with this lower tier looking person. So, like, it's actually crazy to me. Like, people think like this. People legit fucking think like this. And, like, a good bit of advice is, like, anytime some popular hot streamer girl has a boyfriend and he's not a streamer, listen to what people say about the boyfriend. This happens all the time. Yeah, it happens all the fucking time. Personality is always first. Yeah, so you probably don't use Tinder.
And out of 10, like, I've always hated this, like, rating metric shit. But for the purposes of explanation, pretty much everyone can understand what I'm really getting at here.
Yeah.
This 5 out of 10 girl is now getting messages from guys who are 5s, even some guys who are 4s, but also from guys who are 6s, 7s, 8s, maybe a couple of 9s. Who is she gonna pick? So she's gonna see a message from a guy who's an 8 and, like, think, oh shit, like, he's really hot. And,
Yeah.
oh, he's got game. And, like, oh, he wants to meet me. Okay. They're gonna meet, sleep with each other. And it's gonna be somewhat ingrained in her personality. Yep. This is the level of man that I attract. And now, this girl almost thinks that she's...
You know, the title of this video says Tinder is brutally annihilating men's mental health, but we're talking about what it does to the women.
on this level. She can't, like, she's not bad for thinking this. We can't really blame her for this. And now she will...
I think this is the same shit with guys, too, right? Like, I don't, like... I get what he's saying, right? But you gotta keep in mind, like, guys do this, too. It's like there's some guy, and he doesn't shower. He lives at his mom's house. He doesn't brush his teeth. He plays video games all day, and he never leaves the house. Right? And you can't expect to find a bunch of girls. You can't expect to find, like, some super fucking hot girl that's gonna be down with that. So I think that it creates unrealistic expectations. Me? Well, I mean, look, hey, I mean, look. It is what it is.
Not accept anything less than this 8 out of 10. But
Yeah.
the issue is that these 8s here, who maybe still message her, know her true worth, her true value, and they probably don't want to commit to her. They probably don't want to get into something which is, like, really long term. They're really just messaging her for, like, a late night hookup. But it's too late.
Yeah.
Her self-image has been inflated. Now, usually boosting your self-image is an incredibly powerful thing. But in this one instance, in terms of modern dating, especially like Tinder and Instagram DMs and those dating apps, it really does seem to skew a lot of problems. Because now this girl, who is technically here...
Alright, you know, I don't got
thinks that
time
she's
for
here,
this.
will never feel okay with getting with a guy who's here. She will always feel like she's settling.
I think it gives a lot of people an inflated sense of value, or like a distorted view on dating in general. I think that, like, it probably does that for everybody. Like, I don't think this is just a girl thing. I think it's a guy thing too. It's like you see, like, a bunch of hot girls and you're like, all I need to do is get one of them, and then none of them are messaging you back and you're fucking mad. Like, that's what it is.
With being with a guy who she's actually on the level with. The guys that she now is interested
Gladiator
in, it's
never walked over
extremely
the
likely
duelist,
that
yeah.
they will actually really, really want to be in a relationship with her, because these guys actually want to get with, like, the real 8s. So what does this mean? If you are one of these guys at the top, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, you get your pick from the majority of women, and it's easier than ever as a guy in this small group. Like, not many guys, okay, the majority of men are fucking pathetic and lazy and fat and everything, so the majority of men are way down here. But if you're in the small 5 to 10% of men group here, you will have the easiest time perhaps in humanity to be able to sleep with a lot of women. But if you are in the majority of men, 80 to 90% of men, if you're an average guy, you will struggle heavily, because the women on your level are currently being fucked by the guys up there. This means that the overwhelming majority of men are incredibly lonely, deprived from intimacy, deprived from sex, love, affection. But also,
I think there's a lot of guys that are like that. I mean, I do think that's a thing. Like, I've read, like, some of the incel subreddits. Like, I've read them. I'm like, what's going on over here? And it's like, man, it must, like, these people are unhappy. They are extremely fucking unhappy, man. It's awful.
I'm gonna have to sheep him.
Now, it's like, I think also one of the big problems is that people, and this is the same thing with, like, girls that have, like, unrealistic standards, like everybody, right? Is like,
Ooh, that's a
special. And they
pretty
never
extreme
want to
number
actually
there.
improve themselves. They want everything in the world to change around them. They want it to conform around what they are
Stay
already
back.
okay with. I'm special. I need to be treated differently. Like, my personality is better than
I should have said
everybody
that
else's.
was... I should have made the pun when that happened. It's too late now, but I should have said, that's a hell of a big crit. It's too late now, though.
Strong opinions about politics and play League of Legends. I'm unique and different. I mean, fuck.
interesting, the same is said for the overwhelming majority of women. They're deprived from love, they're deprived from real connection, affection, relationships. The only one thing that they have that
should be fine.
men don't is just sex. But the sex that they are
Especially with that
having
crit.
those top tier guys often leaves these women quite unfulfilled and feel like they're being used. In the end, out of this entire thing, it's a deep conversation if we really push there, but like the sexual revolution of feminism, in the end, only the top tier men win. Even the top tier women, like the most attractive, beautiful women, even if you ask them, they'll kind of say it to you like they're not really happy with modern dating. If you ask them like, are you totally fulfilled with your dating life? The overwhelming majority.
Better not save after this.
Say, no, of course not. Whereas if you ask all these people, really the only kind of person will be that absolute top tier guy who'll be like, yeah, like I'm shagging loads, bro. I love it. In the end, no matter what happens, no matter what political leader is in power, no matter what social movement happens, I promise you this is the case. In the end, the high value men always win. And so now we have perhaps...
Well, it's the same with everything, right? I mean, people always, the cream's always going to rise to the top no matter what. It's such a bad take. I think that, like, part of this, like, women being unhappy, etc., I think that, like, you've also got to keep in mind that a lot of those women that are really attractive, they have a guy that's like, hey, I'm going to marry you, and that's it. Like, that's what I see a lot of, is, like, these girls, they're, like, you know, they're really hot. And, like, some guy's like, all right, we're going to lock this down right now. And I've seen plenty of things like that happen. It's very common. Bad take, Lamau, the dude's right. I think that some people, like some guys, it sucks. Yeah, it's a 5-head play. Yeah, I'm sorry, but he's right. I think that he's right about, like, some of the stuff that he's saying. I do. And I do think that, like, again, it's like the biology thing. Yeah. Like, it's like guys can hook up with a bunch of different girls, and it's easier for them to do that than it is for a girl to do that. It's like, yeah, you don't have to worry about any of this other bullshit. Like, that's it. Below 30 is F second. Wrong? Wrong? They can? What the fuck? No? I don't know about that. I'm saying, like, you get a risk of pregnancy. I think that's a big factor. Like, the risk of pregnancy is like, that's what I was thinking about biology. Yeah, Lamau, not true. Yeah, STDs, I mean, that's the same for anybody, though. Birth control, easy. That shit don't always work.
The biggest problem of our time, it is this skew of the dating market. It is that 80 to 90% of men are so utterly lonely, deprived, have literally zero women interested in them. Perhaps 50 years ago, a man who was a 5 out of 10 could work hard, get a decent job, save up some money, and he suddenly would have been really attractive to a woman who kind of needed that into her life. But now, most women are...
Is that not true? Like, I still feel like that's true. Yeah, I feel like that's true. Like, I mean, I have plenty of friends I've grown up with, people that I know, like, they're not living some crazy, lavish lifestyle. They're not, you know, some, like, fucking super good-looking bodybuilder either. But they just found a girl, and they're dating her, and now they're married. Like, it is what it is. I feel like that still happens. I think that, like, this is a problem that, like, guys in their early 20s and, like, late teens have. I think that once you get to, like, 28, 29...
What, you can't get over here either? Come on.
This becomes
there you go.
Less of a thing. Yeah, I think it's especially for a lot younger people.
Hold on. Let me come to you.
Most women are educated, they work their own jobs, make their own money. So dating a guy just because he has like a good job is no longer a big angle of attraction. Whereas 50, 100 years ago it was, because it was like an acquirement of resources that they probably couldn't really get for themselves. This is leading us to a very interesting dynamic, and I think it's best summed up in a quote that Rollo Tomasi uses very, very well, which is that women would rather share the alpha rather than be saddled with the beta. A lot of people cringe at like that, the terms alpha male.
I think that there's also a lot of guys that would rather settle with a body pillow than sleep with a girl that's the same appearance that they are. There's a lot of guys that would rather stick around with the fucking the Yeshua body pillow than hook up with a girl that they think is ugly. All my friends, yeah.
Beta male, but I think they perfectly describe what's happening here. Alpha simply just means like the best of the pack. Women would rather share that guy up there and be one of the women that he's dating and sleeping with, rather than be saddled with a guy who's on their level or below their level, but but then have like him being faithful. This guy down here being faithful to a girl here isn't as exciting as this guy up here sleeping with her, but then her also going through the negative emotions because she knows this guy's also sleeping with 4 other girls right now. This dynamic was pretty.
I don't know what happened, man. Like, there was a time, you know, back in the day, you used to be able to have like 5 wives and shit. Like, what moron, like 2,000 or 3,000 years ago ended that? Like, yeah, well, like, who thought that was a bad idea? Jesus? Well, shit, man. Oh my god. Who did that? Yeah, who did that?
Pretty much always happening in all of humanity. The top tier men always had more than one woman, but now it's on steroids because of Tinder, because of Instagram,
Yeah, I think
because
so.
of specifically because of online dating. Because previously this woman here would simply try to get the best man that she could attract, which would be the guy in her church who had like a nice job. But now this woman here, the best man she can attract is some guy in Dubai who's messaged her this weekend. If you're a young
Oh my
man in the
gosh.
education system, or maybe you've just started getting into the workplace, I guarantee there's at least one woman in your workplace or classroom who is literally being messaged by like a multi-millionaire. How fucked is that? So these modern platforms, Instagram, Tinder, are just allowing women to have an incredible abundance of options because it's such a low consequence for a man to just express some interest in a woman with a simple DM or a Tinder like. And even though this seems
I think that, like, yeah, obviously that's true to an extent. I think that what I disagree with this video on is the fact that it's like a one-sided thing, where like women have all these like tremendous advantages and like men are just completely fucked over. I disagree with that. I think that it's something that is a lot more nuanced. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. They do, and it's accurate. Women do? I don't know, man. Like, I really don't think so. Please read the comment. Everyone's different. I will read the comments. Yeah, I will read it. 67% of women never use such apps. They said top 5% men have all the advantages. Yeah, but like I'm saying about everybody else.
kind of inconsequential, you know, it's Tinder and, you know, men are lonely. Like, this is very fucking big. I say it somewhat often, and some people think I'm joking. Countries literally burn to the ground when this dynamic happens. When the majority of men in your country are not getting a fundamental need fulfilled, which is love. Think about what's going to happen. The single biggest motivator that men have to be productive, to work hard, to accomplish something, it's love, intimacy, sex, reproduction, having children. When that is not being met and they totally...
You can say that's insane, but how many of the shooters have girlfriends? I think this is a factor. It's not a cause and effect, but it's a factor.
believe, they are certain that it will not be met anytime soon, that even if they put in the work, they will not be able to attract a woman. They give up, they get complacent, they may as well succumb to the hooks of porn and video games. When your country is full of men who are choosing to watch porn instead of improving themselves to get love and real women, you have a country that is very ready to fall. When the barbarians come to the gates, and those barbarians, like the enemy, like the men from a different country, are fighting for their wives because they don't have like Tinder and Instagram as much in their country.
Oh
And here
my,
you have the men who are hooked onto porn. They have nothing to fight for. They don't even like your country. This sounds fucking crazy because you and I have never been in like a real war before, especially if you've lived in the West. We've never really seen firsthand the consequences of war.
Bro, this
It's a
escalated
distant thing
quick.
that we hear about in history. This is how countries fall. This is how war starts. And there's not many people really talking about this. But
I think people being stuck in a position, it's like, I think that like, you're stuck in a position that is hopeless. You're in a job that you fucking hate. You've got debt from working, everything like that. Like all of this stuff, I feel like it does add up. Do you see kind of what I'm saying? Who hurt this guy? Well, I think that like really, I think that there is like an element of truth in what he's saying. I just don't think it's like, it's not necessarily women's fault or society's fault. I think one of the big problems is that nowadays there's such a little emphasis put on self-accountability. It's like it's Tinder's fault that all you do is sit around and eat fast food and jerk off to fucking like Fuda furry porn. No, society didn't do this. You did. This is your fucking problem. No, and like it's your fucking problem. And so there's a lot of people and they blame everything else except for themselves. You know what I mean? You talking to yourself right now? No, I'm saying like it's the case with a lot of people. Self-report, easy. Sure, don't watch furry food. I had to think of something special, didn't I? I mean, shit. And so yeah, and so what I'm really trying to get at here is like, I think that another big factor is the amount of like messaging that goes out nowadays about how wherever you are,
that sucks.
Your fault. Somehow, whatever position that you have put yourself in, it is because of somebody else. There is some external factor that has caused you to do this. And I think that's even more unhealthy than Tinder, because it's something that's pervasive through the entire culture, whereas Tinder is just a part of
He just keeps running right by me.
You have people that have a sense of hopelessness. You know, they've got student loan debt, and they're making, you know, they're never going to be able to pay off the money because the interest just fucking, it just gets too high. You can't get out from under it. They've got no fucking skills. They can't do anything else. Some of them sign up for the military. That's what happens with a lot of people. But other people do something else, and it's just, yeah, I mean, you can't get a girlfriend. Your friends are moving on. Your friends are doing well. You're not. And guess what people do? They go absolutely fucking apeshit. Because it's like, why would they respect a society or want to be part of a society that doesn't respect them? I think that it's that simple. If you're a loser, it's your fault. I think that, yeah, I think in a lot of cases, most people that are losers, it's their fault. Yeah, absolutely. Not false. Yeah, I mean, this was always my outlook on the world, is that whenever I was younger, I would do anything I wanted, and I would never feel any guilt for anything, because this is society. I'm just simply existing in society, and it's like, if I want to, like, I can either do something or not. And I think that more and more people have that outlook. Why respect a society that doesn't respect you? I don't think that's wrong at all. I don't think that people are crazy for thinking that. It doesn't seem unreasonable. And
Oh, you're gonna have to come back here, ma'am.
Yeah, you have to respect yourself before anything else. Well, I mean, why respect yourself? Like, the thing is, like, you don't even think about self-respect. You don't even think about yourself. It's just how you're going to exist. Yeah, comment about trauma, it's still a person's responsibility. Well, the thing is, like, there's bad shit that happens to everybody, but, like, it's still, at the end of the day, like, even if something bad happens to you, it's still up to you to be able to get out from under it. Like, yeah, obviously bad shit happens to everybody. Like, some people, like, have, like, really bad situations. Like, I would say, like, my situation was, like, not great, but, like, man, there's a million people that had it way worse than me, right? I mean, 100%. So it's like, yeah, obviously, it's like in all of us, like, we're automatically, like, there's a billion people in the world right now that don't have internet. Like, fuck. That's like, bro, like, that's like spawning with, like, that's like you spawn in Fortnite, you go down, you loot, like, the gray gun, somebody else next to you loots, like, the fucking golden AR, and you're just dead. Like, fuck. What is this? It's not even fair. But that's the way it goes. And it's like, you've got to, I mean, you're going to have bad spawn RNG sometimes with different things. Yeah, it's like hardcore mode, exactly. I don't know, man.
Oh, shit.
They should demand it from the government. What, like a housewife's tale? A handmaiden's tale? What exactly are you insinuating? That's a bit much, isn't it? Like, damn. Listen, yeah, government mandated waifus, like, god damn. Look, yeah, I think that it's a big problem, but I don't think that blaming women or blaming Tinder is fair entirely. Because it's like, guys go on Tinder. Like, you don't have to go on Tinder. They do it on their own. So I think there's a lot of things wrong. But I don't think that it's unreasonable that people, you know, people stop caring and stop participating in and stop, like, trying or following the rules or norms of a social society that they feel like has no respect for them. I think that's completely fair.
We can and we are waging our own war right now. We are at war against the technocracy. We are at war against these modern social media, porn, video game companies that have stripped away our right to our consciousness, our right to our attention in time. It is these evil companies that have hooked your family, your friends, your future wife. They've hooked their attention, they've fucked their mental health. A man that you know will kill himself within the next 2 to 3 years, and that will be heavily influenced by a part of these technologies. We are at
Suicides have gone up a lot. He's technically right about that. And I think social media and suicides like that have gone up a lot. And I think social media probably is it's an aggravating variable. Absolutely, sure. You're not going to get me to say it's Facebook's fault because you get a bad it hurts your ego whenever people are doing better than you on Facebook. Like, you are not going to get me to say that. That is a personal fucking problem, and you've got to look in the mirror. That's the person.
I just realized there's a boat hell out there.
With is in the mirror. That is you. Yeah, log off fucking Facebook. Log off. If it's making you feel that way, stop dealing with it.
a war against them.
Like,
Where'd the other guy go?
I love Facebook. It lets me keep up with old friends. You know, keep up with, like, oh man, like, this is like a guy, like, man, we used to throw rocks at people, and now he's...
Did he go out here?
You know,
No?
Now he works...
You were running off over here.
You know, he owns his own business now. You know, I love that. I think that's great.
What the fuck?
And so, like, it doesn't have to be bad.
See before you is a revolution.
Now he works in a
We are a
quarry,
cult of young men who refuse to sit idly by or to sink deeper into the...
I'm so confused. Somebody's attacking me.
Taking a big step back. We are at war, and I want you to join.
What the fuck?
Click this video to learn more right now. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.
Somebody's fucking me up.
This guy went wild, man.
What is going on?
I'll read some of the comments because oh my god, what is this? Why the fuck does this not work? Yeah, let me go back. I'll read some of the comments on this. I think this is like. A lot of people are worried that the game isn't actually going to release. So we'll go ahead and we'll watch it. Here we go.
Oh, he's back.
Nuts
Okay.
last night. Let me guess. Yep. The day before got delayed again.
Yes. What? You don't say. You don't say. You don't say.
What's going on, everybody? It's Buzz Lightbeer, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And at
I've
this
never
point,
even heard of this game.
Are you truly surprised with any of this?
How many times has this game
There's like so many games that are coming out that I don't even know about.
been delayed? Like 3, 5, like 10, 2 or 3 times? Okay. That's pretty bad.
Just days before, a major Raw gameplay reveal has again postponed and pushed out the dates. And we'll get into all of this because I've done some digging here, and I have some now deleted receipts.
Okay.
In case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that big, beautiful subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest The Day Before news. And while you're at it, ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Okay, here we go again.
All right.
This dude has like 3
We're
intros.
releasing this footage because how could we be so skeptical after all these heavily scripted vertical slice trailers? And then kind of late last night, at least it was for me on the East Coast US, we get wind that The Day Before has been delisted on Steam. That's right, the number 2 most wish-listed game on all of Steam has poof vanished.
The Day Before you gone. See, it's right there. No, see? What do you mean? Yeah, they just changed the name of it.
And here's where it gets really dicey. Their official Discord server posts this message to calm the hordes just moments after this delisting. We are currently experiencing a minor technical difficulty with our game's visibility on the Steam store page. This is a known bug that has affected multiple titles in the past. More on this in a moment. Please note that Steam regularly conducts maintenance on Tuesdays, and this issue will likely be resolved during that time.
Okay.
We kindly ask that you refrain from sending negative messages or joining in with the complaints of others. Rest assured that our game will be visible on the Steam store again once the maintenance is complete.
Which, I mean, that's reasonable, okay? Everything is fine so far. It's like, yeah, they had a problem with Steam. People have problems with Steam. It's not to be unexpected, sure. Okay.
And then they finish it up with patience is
So
key.
far.
Now, I would argue that the gaming
Patience is
community has been more than patient with Fantastic and their title the day before. But anyways, here's where it starts to get more interesting.
Okay.
So first, I started digging into this. I reached out to someone who knows way more about Steam than I do. I asked them about this statement from Fantastic, the known bugs, etc. I showed them this receipt log, and their exact statement and response back to me was, no, that's total BS. It is not a known bug. It is not common. Then we get the Steam logs for the day before showing that changes were made, removing the movies and trailers on their Steam store page. The team claims that this is Steam delisting the game, but to me, these look like their team is going in and deleting the movies and screenshots, as in they're just trying to remove all the evidence, possibly.
What the fuck is this?
I can't carry any more of those.
This is, like... This is so weird.
I don't know.
It's a
Also, that entire "we are experiencing minor technical difficulties with the game" Discord message has since been entirely deleted, which is a huge red flag. That's right. That entire message that I showed you on screen has now been removed from their official Discord server.
Okay.
Now, I held off on publishing anything last night as, one, I was just totally exhausted from the workday, and number two, I've seen enough from this.
I will say so far, this does not... I'm not completely convinced that it's fake yet. There's still a chance that it's not. I'm not 100%.
Team at Fantastic based on their previous cases of
Okay.
jumping out of the boiling hot frying pan scenarios that I decided to wait for another round of what I fully expected to appear. And my patience was rewarded. Hours later, we get this statement over on Twitter. Dear fans, right before the release, Steam blocked our game page at the request of a private individual because of the name The Day Before. As you know, our game was announced in January 2021. At the time of the announcement, the Day Before game trademark was available. After the announcement of the game, the above-mentioned individual filed out an application before us to register the game trademark The Day Before in the United States. And then they've got
What the fuck?
a link here. I'll get into more of that.
I mean, to be fair, they should have copyrighted this before they even announced it. A patent troll? Yeah, like there's like two things, right? They're stupid for not getting this ahead of time before it went public. Like, they're 100% dumb as fuck for that. And also, this system is 100% dumb as fuck if somebody just randomly put this out there and they copyrighted it to obviously troll them. Because at this point, like, you're effectively using a government system maliciously. So, like, both of these things are bad. Assuming that it's even true.
Just a moment, because I did some digging for you. What's next? Previously, we were not aware of the existence of claims. I would press F to doubt. We found out about this only on January 19th, 2023, when we received a complaint from him and a request to contact him. Now we found out all the circumstances of the incident, and we will definitely solve everything.
I'm gonna try using just Scorch and Fire Blast to have them upgraded
Later this month, but we'll have to sort this issue out first. We will post a video.
I mean, like, if they say that... If they say that this is what's happening, and it's like, well, you know, we're not ready or something like that, and
that might actually be quicker.
That's not really going to freak me out. Like, I would say, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Just change the name. I don't think they should. I don't think they should have to. I mean, what I'm saying, I think, I mean, it's got to be like illegal. They have to have some sort of protection for people that are maliciously filing trademarks and copyrights for things that they clearly have no intention to hold on to, and they're just doing this to extort somebody out of money. Like, I can almost guarantee you that there's some sort of allowance for people looking into this. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
ASAP. More on this in a moment, too.
Okay.
As a result, we have made the difficult decision to postpone the launch of the game to November 10th, 2023. We understand this may be a disappointment for many of our fans. However, we want to ensure we release the best possible game. So, are you stating that it was not the best possible game that was going to be releasing?
Whoa, wait. There was a trademark website that was being shared in Lyrics chat that showed they owned it since last year.
I'm using a lot less mana doing this too.
Because, like, obviously this person might have contacted them or something like that. But I don't know. This seems really scummy.
March the 1st. Talk more about that again. Our 100% focus remains on the game itself.
See, the question is
the best game possible. Thank you, and we hope for your support. Sincerely, Mytona and Fantastic. Okay, so you've got two parts of this announcement, and we need to be able to break these apart into separate chapters. First off, you've got this claimed trademark issue, and then the second part is the
I think I'm gonna want
itself.
that.
But first off,
over
let's
this.
break apart this trademark. They tag some
or maybe I don't know.
Previous filing for the title.
Probably this.
2014 really doesn't make much sense to me.
Wait,
Anyways,
what?
I've done
Negative
some
resistances
on the
sounds
US
nice.
Patent and Trademark Office, because remember they mentioned
this is
it
all
was filed
public.
for in the United States.
Yeah.
By the way, the Patent and Trademark Office has their TESS page, which stands for Trademark Electronic Search System. TESS. Now, if you search the day before, you've got
I might
a
actually get
Lee
this
applying for the rights back on
next.
May 21st, 2021,
Well, who
and
is
registering those rights on November 1st, 2022. Now, I don't know anything about Soon Lee. This could be actually an employee of Fantastic. I have no idea, but they've got the rights as of November 1st, 2022. As a point of record, the official day before announcement trailer aired on January 27th, 2021. So that's 5 months before Soon Lee applies for the rights. And I'm just going to make a huge assumption here, but you would think that the team at Fantastic would have tried to apply for the day before copyright before that date, but
Yeah, it's like, if this was filed since last year, how are you just finding out about it now? Because, like, if this is gameplay from the day before, they have spent probably over $1 million already making this game happen. So how is it that you spend 7 figures, maybe 8 figures making a game, and you don't even figure out the copyright at all? That's nuts, man. Like, yeah, you have nobody who's looking into this. There's maybe an incompetence. It's got to be like, bro, this has got to be like 10 people all making the same mistake. That's what's so crazy, and I think that's why people think that it's fake, is that, like, how is it that over the past year you never had you
Ever just refused to
like, go to court with this
kill the
guy,
pirate?
try to
I should have
sue
just
him
killed
for
the pirate.
copyright, to try to buy it from him, to try to
Vanilla makes you pay for fucking around though.
to do anything except for the day before some new content is going to come out, suddenly, oh, wait a second, I've got to change everything.
I got cocky. I didn't sheep him. Should have sheeped him.
Well, because I don't think they should have to. If the person is maliciously reserving a trademark and they have no intention of actually making a game, then I don't think they should be able to hold on to it. Like, I'm going to be totally honest. I think that's bullshit. So, yeah, that's how I stand on it.
I guess you would be wrong, because according to this TESS record system here, Fantastic applies for the day before on January 27th, 2022, a full year after their first announcement trailer airs over on YouTube. Now, this is just for the United States. There could be contradicting records in some form internationally. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm done digging up stuff on this one. Now on to the second.
At a certain point, it's their word against, you know, people's better interest or people's better, you know, like, discretion. Because, like, we can't really tell whether they're faking it or not with this amount of information. It's just that every single time that something like this happens, a delay happens, some problem happens, and especially whenever they're linking to something and they don't have an explanation for, like, why this didn't happen a year ago, like how you just had this hanging over your head, you didn't tell anybody until the content had to come out. Like, I think if they had just come out and said, like, listen, we're not ready. We said we were going to be ready. We're not. It is what it is. I think people would have been like, fuck you, but okay. But this is just like, whenever you come up with an excuse, it's 1,000 times worse than if you just say it.
Part of this announcement, and that's the delay part, and of everything that has gone down in the last 24 hours, this part sounds the most accurate and truthful to me, besides the statement that they just found out the name to their game. The rights to the day before were not available on January 19th. Again, that sounds highly sus. Anyways, they are delaying the launch of the day before, again I might add, from March 1st to November 10th, which was all...
That is massive. March.
Out of curiosity,
March is in like.
Is it on Steam now?
Almost like a month and a half, 2 months. November, that is fucking 5 or what is that, like 6 or 7 months? That's crazy. 10 months.
Expected, and we expect it to happen again sometime later this year.
And it's like I think that there were a lot of delays during COVID, but it's like this is one of those situations where.
Oh, this is a completely different game.
Seems like it's not really that compelling, but the compelling thing is that all of them exist simultaneously.
And just so we can set a
precedent
here, and I'm speaking of fantastic, they set the mega event month announcement date. I forget what year it was. Remember, that was an entire month they gave themselves, and they just flat out missed it. They also originally set...
I also don't buy games from developers that use the word disinformation.
Their first live game launch date. We didn't set it, they set it, and just weeks prior to that date, they postponed for a full year so they could supposedly transition from Unreal Engine 4.
So this has already been delayed to 2023. I mean, that's crazy, because I remember whenever, what was it? When Ashes of Creation transitioned to Unreal 5, I mean, there was never really a point where they said they were going to release it, but it didn't really seem like it was that much of a transition for them. They just said, hey, we're moving things over there, and that's it. So it's like, how is Ashes of Creation able to do this and not really seemingly have any massive scope creep from it, but this company isn't? It made it even easier. Yeah, exactly.
5. And now... precedent here, they set the March 1st launch window, and you guessed it, they delayed it again.
Right.
They also claimed that the raw gameplay footage has also had to been delayed.
I knew that was going to happen.
Also due to this copyright issue. Now,
you know what?
Here's just a thought. I'm just
We're cheating
here, but just take the name down and call it an Unreal Engine 5 project from Fantastic until you nail down another name. And if this is truly an issue, then you could just relist the game on Steam and immediately post that raw gameplay footage. I thought I was actually done with this video today, but I decided just on a whim to do just a little more research, and I'm just going to throw in some other thoughts here. But the team at Fantastic claims it is the day before name that is causing all of these legal issues.
It's like, if that's what the issue is, why couldn't he have them take down... Why couldn't he have them take down their Twitter if their Twitter is for a game that's trademarked? You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why couldn't he retroactively have all of the previous content taken down? Why is it only that this raw gameplay thing is what's not able to be uploaded, but nothing in the past and nothing else that's happening concurrently, like the existing footage? I'm sure, like, if I go and I look at this, let me see if I can pull this up here. The day...
He crit me?
The day before...
whatever. I'll take that death.
So, do these people have, like, a... It looks
I
like
should have
a
ran.
YouTube channel. Okay.
I still want to know if I got crit, though.
Okay. The day before game.
154. What was I getting hit before though?
I mean, fuck, man. Like, this is the Fnatic YouTube channel.
Whatever.
And they have footage of a game that's called The Day Before. So how are they not able to upload footage, but simultaneously they have footage of a game called The Day Before that's on their YouTube channel? And also, if all these things were copyrighted, etc., let me see whenever this was uploaded. This was uploaded on January 4th, is that correct? And then the trademark was filed when? In 2021? Or 2020, 22? When was it filed? It was filed on December 2022. January 27th, 2022. Okay, so this is a small positive for them, where there is actually no footage that is provided ahead of time. Provided after that date.
All sorts of movies coming out, apparently.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what the legal stuff with this is, but this seems very, very suspicious. The original guy filed for it in 2020.
Yeah, it's starting to warm up around here where I am, so I figured I'd just cut off all my hair. I prefer to have shorter hair anyway. I just had the longer hair with the beard because it's, you know, natural cold air resistance. I don't like to wear hats, so. Oh, you started a character on vanilla? Alright, I'm not screwing around anymore. There was like a handful of things I could have did there, but I didn't do them because I didn't want to use them, like potions and whatnot. But this time I got this. You know, I wish there was a way to have like a vanilla Wrath of the Lich King, like with the vanilla mechanics and everything like that, and then just add in Northrend and the raids and all that, along with Burning Crusade. And there's probably a way, if I go into the SQL, I could probably edit it pretty close, but it would take forever. And every time there is an update to the core, I would have to redo it more than likely. Okay, this guy needs to get sheeped. Oh boy, they're spawning. I have time to kill this one. Oh shit. No, no, no. I was not watching my health bar. I'm not getting very many crits. There we go. There we go. Can I get a pirate hat, please? I guess not. You know, saying what I'm about to say is probably going to jinx it, but I have not been ganked in a while. There are bots on here, right? Yeah, I'm full. It's just that they're not over here, which is perfectly acceptable. I cannot get a stun.
I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Alright, man, have a good one. I've gotten more greens than I have pirate hats. At least that's what it feels like sometimes.
What went wrong with gaming?
They've been my main hobby for most of my life. I love video games. They've been my main hobby for most of my life, and now I make video games with it. It's great. But recently, I've been analysing new games and critiquing new systems, and I've noticed a slow but insidious trend toward games becoming more and more monetized, but not fairly monetized.
Of course not. Because if they were fairly monetized, then
Is that the same one that I have? Yeah.
people want to buy the unfair advantage.
Player monetized. It's the feeling you get when you look at a battle pass in a game you've already paid full price for. It's a tiny sliver of sadness when a game you want has different
Battle passes only belong on free games.
and you'll know you'll never get to experience every part of that game now. It's that
They had the same thing, I remember, with Soul Calibur in like the GameCube era. Like the GameCube version had Link, and I think that the Xbox and PlayStation 1 had different exclusive characters too.
Oh, map
This
fragments,
is not
huh?
something that's new, but it's something that's much more common.
cosmetic you want, costing 1,005.
I kind of want footlockers now.
In packs of 1,004. It's
Yeah.
the knowledge that year on year, the microtransactions from FIFA Ultimate Team alone make more money than Elden Ring's entire sale run. It's the
Whoa, let's hear that again, boys. Let's hear that one more time. Who fucking wants to hear how gaming is nowadays? Let's go.
104. It's the knowledge that year on year, the microtransactions from FIFA Ultimate Team alone make more money than Elden Ring's entire sale run. It's the
Man. Fucking hell. Yeah, wow. It's depressing? Yeah, it is.
the unfortunate reality of gaming after the marketing executives took over. And it's hard to explain exactly how or when it changed, but explaining things is what I do. So let's go back to the start of gaming and work out when this whole mess started. And then I'll actually pinpoint the exact thing.
Oh wow, that's a lot of damage.
Is it gonna be the horse in Oblivion? I bet it's gonna be the horse in Oblivion or something like that.
Choice, which makes
I don't know why people got so upset about the horse DLC. It might have been overpriced. I don't remember the original price for the horse DLC, but I'm like, it's just DLC, you know? Is it because it was cosmetic? Is it because it was something that you should have unlocked in the game? I don't know.
new games
We'll
feel
see.
wrong. Welcome, I'm Josh Hayes. Let's work out what the hell went wrong with the monetization of gaming. As usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon.
It's a really long intro. I actually thought he was going to talk about something worthwhile. It turns out he was just
Let's go back to the
introducing his video for 10 minutes.
Revolution was kicking. Let's begin. Let's go back.
I had this game on my calculator, and I would have people pay me because we had to clear our calculators every like Tuesday for tests, and I had 2 calculators, and I would have people pay me every Wednesday to recopy Asteroids and Doom onto their TI-84 calculators, and I would get like a quarter for it every single time, man. Those were the good days.
Back to the 1980s and early 1990s. The video game revolution was kicking off, but home consoles weren't yet mainstream.
Grind
so
never
we went to
stops, that's
arcades.
right.
You put your money in and played a game, effectively making arcades the socially accepted pay-to-play model. There's no denying arcades were bloody expensive. I remember dropping way more than I should have done to complete Time Crisis, but while this was expensive, there was a very simple relationship between the game, the money, and the player. Pay money, get access to the game. Victory depends on your skill. Game designers knew it was a simple transaction, and they knew someone would simply play as long as they were able to, so they had to make the game hard so you would die more, and so pay more. This is why the turtle...
This is the best example of this is the Lion King on Super Nintendo. Is that the people that made it went on record and they said, we're sorry, we made this game so hard so you had to rent it twice.
That's funny.
Not kidding.
Underwater bit. It's why House of the Dead bosses were damage sponges. It's why Ghosts and Goblins was everything that Ghosts and Goblins
This was
is.
brutal.
In the early days of home consoles, when people would rent games, we even called difficult levels blockbuster levels, designed to make the rental period longer, and so you'd have to keep doing it. So
I don't remember that term, but okay.
why don't these money-hungry games make us feel the same way as modern money-hungry games? Well, it's because the trade of money for game was simple, and there was nothing...
I think another reason why it was okay is because we were kids and we didn't spend all of our time thinking about it. Like, for example, now we always think about, like, all this stuff. It's, like, hyper-analyzed. And back then, we never thought about this shit at all. We were just like, oh, new game, buy game. That's it. There was no thinking whatsoever. It's unironically, ignorance is bliss.
insidious about the transaction itself. You knew what you were giving, and you knew what you were getting. And if you were to break down the design time of a game into a pie chart at that point, it might look something like this. Story, graphics, narrative connections between them, mechanics, marketing...
I'm gonna be honest, like, except for the fucking Squaresoft games, this fucking pie part is not there in any of the other games. Like, there are so many of the games, it's like, you know, fucking, like, Duke Nukem. The president's been kidnapped. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Let's find out. There it is. All right, that's it. That's all there is to it. And maybe you hook up with a girl in like the third level, and that's it. What was the first arcade game you ever played? I played Gauntlet. That was my first ever arcade game that I played. I played it at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was so young that I would shoot the food with other people that would play with my mom and I. And I could use the excuse that I was so young that I didn't know what I was doing.
That's still recharge in.
I did. Bro, I knew exactly what I was doing.
Testing, and then how much a go at the arcade costs. There was a lot going on in the development of the game at these times.
Yeah, the other ones that I remember so well, I remember the Jurassic Park, the rail shooter. I remember playing that for like an hour at Chuck E. Cheese. I remember, obviously, the Simpsons game, and then there was also the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. And I always liked Galaga, the one where you're like in the ship and you can like fly around. Metal Slug, yes! Yes, I remember I played that at Blazer Laser Tag. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, I think those were the ones that I really liked. Those are the ones I went hard as fuck on.
It's all focused on making a game good, because at that time, good games make the most money. When a company discovered a successful game, they couldn't just augment the original with downloadable content or extra levels because that technology didn't exist yet. They'd have to make a complete sequel, and so gamers got more games. Jump forward to the mid-1990s, the home console market had taken off. You buy a console, you buy a game, and then you play that game. Now, the whole lives mechanic in games at this time was a holdover from the arcade design space and wasn't actually needed in home consoles because you didn't need the player to put more money in. Dying when you have three lives.
I think obviously there was a certain element of skill to it where, like, you get better at, for example, whenever you'd play Castlevania or you play Mario Brothers, you lose all of your lives and then you get better at repeating the old levels. But yeah, definitely he's right.
Then restarting from your last save, or just dying and restarting from the save anyway with no arbitrary life limit, was functionally the same thing, but design moves slowly. Away from the arcade model, you no longer paid per play, and you now paid per game, and you then played as much as you wanted. Games were expensive, of course, but when you bought a game, it was complete.
Games were actually quite expensive back in the day. People might not remember this, but like video games back in the 90s were like $40 and $50. $50 in 1999 was a lot of fucking money, man.
With bugs, it would just have bugs forever. If it shipped with secret unlockable stuff, it would have that forever. When you owned the game, you owned the ability to play as much as you want of the complete experience. And this was a very simple and fair transaction. While the arcade was, here's a game, pay us to have a go, the console was, here's a game, pay us to keep it and play it whenever. But the home gaming scene wasn't just consoles, it was also PCs. Now, back then, PC gaming wasn't as mainstream as it is today, but it did come with one major advantage.
I probably would have appreciated older games when I was a kid more if I would have just wrote down the damn passwords. I never did. I just played it until I died, and then when I play it again, I'd restart from the beginning. I never wrote down the passwords.
I know people might reminisce on how great 90s games were. Yes,
and, you know, of course, if you're playing the same first two levels over and over again, you're gonna get bored.
Fucking forget all of those games that were sitting there in the Circuit City bargain bin, and they should have been in the fucking garbage. They were so bad. You would play them, they wouldn't load. My mom would always say, like, back in the 80s, whenever she'd try to buy a new game, it was like 50-50. If you buy the new software, if it works,
Spawn behind me.
To call IBM and figure out what's going on, and then it doesn't work, and then it's like, well,
I'm so squishy though.
So that's what happens, man. Like I've had that happen with I think I had a Duke Nukem game had that. But it's like before, I think the turning point was whenever they started selling the games in the big boxes like this, that's whenever the games actually started being good. But whenever they would sell them in like these little fucking pieces of plastic, like a rapper giving out their mixtape at like some party or something downtown, like the mixtape rapper ones were fucking garbage. They were so bad.
Because the PC held a load of data files on its hard drive instead of just reading them from the disk or cart like a console, developers could create additional content for a game and sell that. Like the incredible RPG Baldur's Gate, releasing in 1998, and then the multi-hour-long expansion Tales of the Sword Coast in 1999. This was a time in gaming where developers could develop additional content, but when they did, it was usually a lot of content. PC games saw expansion after expansion.
$20-30.
Tribunal and Blood Moon expansions, Diablo 2, then the Lord of Destruction expansion, and all the extra modules for Neverwinter Nights. This was additional content for a game without being a sequel.
I mean, Blizzard had this too, right? There was like Beyond the Dark Portal for Warcraft 2, and there was Brood War. That Brood War was an expansion pack right there for StarCraft.
But again, gamers didn't hate this because the transaction was very simple to understand and it felt fair.
People would sometimes complain about an expansion because they just had to spend more money. But I think that comparatively, yes, it was received positively.
You gave them money, you got an experience designed to be the most fun it could possibly be. The biggest difference in this era is there's no trickery. You're not being manipulated. It's just a straight-up understandable product. If we again take the idea...
I think that people would complain about games being incomplete back then or bad, but it was less likely because you couldn't really patch things live after you shipped them. So there were less incomplete games that got shipped. And the ones that were incomplete, people don't remember them because they were garbage and nobody played them. Remember the free CD-ROM games from magazines? Yeah, you get them in the middle, and you could play the demo of a game. Yeah, I remember that. I got some of those for Xbox even.
Of breaking down game development time into a pie chart, you've probably got a few new bits to the pie by now. Magazine adverts and articles, some TV ads, and the arcade price replaced with a box price. But it is still mostly make a good game and you will make good money.
Yeah.
Then in 2004, online gaming really started to kick off with World of Warcraft being released, but Blizzard aren't the bad guys in this story, at least not yet. For now, we need to look to the east, to another popular online game from Korea called Mage. Now,
oh my fucking god. I couldn't believe whenever people played this. Whenever I actually saw what this game looked like, I thought everybody was joking. I was like, no, you're not actually playing this though, right? I mean, like, this is all like a meme or something. Like, no, there's no way. But no, bro, like, people went hard on this. There's even a Maple Story 2 now. I can't believe it.
And these small toy capsules have been popular for years. You put money into a gachapon machine and get a random toy of varying rarity.
Oh, great.
These systems appeal to people who like collecting things and people who like random chance or mystery. It's basically gambling on a rather inconsequential...
It's gambling for children. Yeah, it just gets them into it so they understand it, they know how it works, and they're ready for whenever they get older. Yeah, like we had the same thing. How many of you guys had those little fucking things you put a quarter in or 2 quarters in and you turn it and then like something comes out? You're like, oh, I really hope I get the car sticker, and it comes out and it's a sticker of a banana again. Oh, fuck, man, Mom, can I have 50 cents? Yeah, I understand this all too well.
Level, but the psychology behind it is very, very powerful. So Maple Story introduced an in-game gachapon style system. 100 yen got you a ticket for a random in-game item. And many people consider this to be the first example of a...
How many more hats do I need? I need 2.
So this was it. This piece of shit.
I'll get the first one here real quick, and then the second one's gonna take an hour.
Ruined video gaming. It wasn't the horse armor. It was this.
But more importantly, this was the first moment in mainstream video games where you could pay money and not know what you were getting. You were no longer paying for the game or for
my statement on this and my stance on this has always been very clear. Everything that you buy in a video game, you should know exactly what you're buying. You should not buy a chance at something. You should not buy a roll at something. You should not buy something that buys a chance at something. You should spend money and get immediately exactly what you spent the money for.
Established product, you were paying for the mystery, the ephemeral moment of what if between purchase.
Yeah, I'm mad about the honing from yesterday. Yes, I am. It's fucking bullshit.
And eventual prize. And this system made a lot of money. Because Maple Story was online, and other people could see what you won. So it was no longer about having the game and enjoying the game. It was now about a sense of community and prestige when you have something somebody else doesn't. If you make
that's the one thing that people love. People love to be the special boy. You know, oh yeah, I'm the special boy. I have the cool item. Absolutely.
Game multiplayer, competition amongst players becomes a thing, and there are a subset of players.
Ooh, I got 3 emails.
Person with the best stuff. And unlike real gachapon machines, which were either a physical distance to travel
and
to,
none of them are
sold out, virtual
important.
Were unlimited, entirely within the company's control, and could be bought constantly. Maple Story already had the in-game items made, so they were selling the excitement of chance, and they were tapping into the collector and completionist mentality of many hardcore gamers. So game developers began to see they didn't actually need to sell a gaming experience anymore. They could instead sell the small adrenaline.
Being a level 46 mage is just so complicated.
A moment in
So Maple Story ruined gaming. I think that's pretty fair.
Oh, he resisted.
Investors realized it was completely worthwhile to dedicate at least some game development time, not to the game itself, but to systems within the game.
Oh, I got a crit.
Simply to extract money from the player after they had started playing, but without giving them a complete new game. This is the first part of the puzzle for where we are today. So let's put this idea of sell random chance into a little box.
I could use combustion. I'll probably do it on the next mob.
Favor the player or make the game necessarily any better. A box of design tricks which you think, oh my god, this is
Just
amazing.
gonna run to the other mob.
Friends,
Sounds like a great box.
but instead use the game as a simple vehicle for additional monetization. Now, the techniques in this box are not games.
Ooh, that's gonna hurt.
They don't exist on their own. They aren't symbiotic with a game because they don't enhance each other. They are parasitic because they need
Just one or two more hats.
necessarily improve it. We'll call this box a
Two
boost
more
of
hats.
monetization strategies.
Feel like I'm
That's
playing
about
Team
right. No, I
Fortress.
think it's very true. Is that a lot of these
It's
systems
two more hats.
are designed in a way that they do make the game worse, or not utilizing these systems makes the game worse. That's like one of the worst things that pay for convenience in games has, is that it makes it to where it is financially lucrative for a developer to make a game inconvenient, because now they can sell the shortcut.
Or for a more catchy title, Pandora's Box of Bad Design. The
Yeah, I
main
like
danger of
that
this
better.
box is, if we were to take the pie chart of game development time now, knowing that this box exists and knowing the techniques inside it can make a decent amount of money, the finance people know they need to find space for the techniques within this box somewhere on the pie chart, which means something else must lose out. Jump forward 2 years to 2006. The Western gaming market...
This chest probably reset by now.
Just like I said. Yep. Here we go.
Discovered the mass appeal and psychological dominance that loot boxes have, but they have discovered something just as important. Gamers will pay money to look different, and it all kicks off with this stupid horse. Now,
Oh god, there it is. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it.
I've made a complete video on the history of this horse, but the short story is The Elder Scrolls Oblivion was a great game with some great DLC, Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles.
I never had
but
any
you
of
could
the
also
deals.
pay a few dollars to give your horse armor. Now, it's important to understand this is completely cosmetic. It doesn't actually make your horse any better in combat or defend it, but you can buy it. And people did. In fact, a lot of people bought it. And this highlighted another thing. Making a game takes a
Well,
long
everybody was very upset about this, and people would say like, "Oh, if you buy this, you're a loser, or you're stupid, or something like that," right? But yeah, I never.
I don't remember how much it was, though.
At this point, I have the strategy guide for Oblivion, but I don't have the fucking horse armor. I don't know how to download that. My mom was like, "Bro, she wouldn't even buy, like, she wouldn't put her credit card on the internet until like 2015." Like, I would have to go to fucking Target and buy those fucking prepaid WoW game cards for her, because she would not want to have her card. Give that, you want me to give that to Blizzard? What the hell are they gonna do with that? What are they gonna do with that? What are they gonna do with my card? Yeah, dude, she was not about that.
time. But once the main game is made, the development time it would take to make a cosmetic for that game is relatively short, and that cosmetic can be sold for a...
I might as well just kill this one while I'm over here.
Many times. The cost is...
Well, it's very simple, right? So, like, if you make something and you sell it for $1, and you make Elden Ring and you sell it for $60, do you think that the thing that you made that you're selling for $1...
I'm wondering if I should get the pushback talent
is
instead.
only 1/60th easier than making Elden Ring? No, it's probably 1/10,000th.
Oh, I have
easier
2 foot
than making
lockers.
Elden Ring.
That one doesn't have anything
So
in them.
terms of
In it.
optimization and min-max,
Can I even sell
you're
this?
gonna min-max selling the thing that you make for $1
No.
a
Maybe.
billion
I don't know.
times than selling the thing that you sell for $60 100 times or 1,000 times.
But the sales volume is high, hence microtransaction. Separate from the idea of a complete expansion...
I hate how people call them microtransactions, but there's packages to buy it for $100.
You know you're playing vanilla WoW when you're basically farming the same chest over and over again.
How the fuck is that a microtransaction? It's more than the game. That's a fucking that's a macro transaction. I wish people would start saying that. Macro transactions. Every time that it's more than like $3.
Which would expand the game and make the game experience bigger, a microtransaction adds hardly anything beyond the original experience. It's almost
Oh, one more hat.
but it's not
Just
free.
one
So
more.
developers know expansions are a bit risky, but microtransactions are very safe and very small.
Yeah.
Even if they don't sell, it's not a great way to develop time.
I'm gonna get off here after I turn it in, so I can shower. Unfortunately, I have to go to the job.
Lots and lots of small additional things. The problem with this is now developers had a vested interest in keeping the coolest cosmetics or the most fun little things out of the base game, and it
That is something that I have complained about for, I don't know, fucking 10 years. Like, I poured salt on my head about this in 2012, and everybody said I was a loser. But now, 10 years later, they realize that I was right all along. Yeah, I fucking knew this shit was gonna happen. Because if you tell people that you can make money doing this, they're gonna start doing it. Of course.
game, and instead
I may or may not be on again.
additional microtransactions, which is something we'll see happen more and more. And this absolutely does not favour the player,
No, it does
because
not.
it leads to an experience where you, as a player, even though you have bought the game, you sit down to play it, you do not feel you have access to the whole game because you don't.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you don't have access to it. That's the reason why.
It used to be you bought a game and got a game. Now it's you buy a game and you get the main framework, which you need to pay more to flesh out. So let's add sell small additions to your game as microtransactions to the box of abusive monetization strategies.
Okay.
And as the box grows, so does the space it would need to take up on the game
Good to see
development
here. It's
pie.
getting bigger.
Now we head into 2009 to the rise of Facebook, and one of the cornerstone
Oh, dude, like these Facebook games, like I remember there would be times where like people would say that their grandma got addicted to like Farmville or something on Facebook, and she was spending more time on Farmville and the cat's dead. And it's been dead for like 2 weeks, and like she doesn't even know about it because she's just been playing Farmville the whole time. Holy fuck. Yeah, people got addicted to this.
of casual gaming and
Oh my
monetization.
god. Yeah, the
progression.
Mafia game too.
Farmville. Farmville was everywhere
Yep.
in the late 2000s, made by Zynga, and
I
these
never
guys
played
were
this.
masters because Facebook was everywhere. Everyone was on it, and even
I never played it either.
were gaming, which sounds great, but they were burning through the game too quickly. They were enjoying it and then just moving on, which was not great.
can't have
because
that.
Facebook is all about retention. So Farmville did something really counterintuitive to increase player retention. They gave you daily energy, so you couldn't progress more than a certain amount every day. Now these games were most
And this is how every game is now. You have like these weird fucking throttling systems that make it to where you can't do any progress. Now they have this, the thing is some of them are okay. I actually think that some of these throttling systems are fine, but most of them are not. Like for example, only being able to do a raid and get loot from it once a week in WoW is fundamentally the same thing. It's just done in a way that's not harmful to the player. Conduit energy, yeah, exactly. Dailies, fucking Lost Ark Resonance. I forgot even what it was called in Diablo Immortal, but it was probably, there was 3 different versions of that in Diablo Immortal, probably. Yeah, a Vitality in Tower of Fantasy.
played by people on phones and laptops, and people got bored pretty quickly. And one of the best ways to prevent boredom is to limit your time with something. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, as they say. So energy systems limiting what actions you could take, or timers connected to growing your crops or building things, and you couldn't progress them quicker.
Well, it's not just the energy systems, it's that the energy systems enabled them to also monetize bypassing the energy systems. That's I think the real reason why these got implemented. It's not because people would stop playing the game. It's basically them putting ankle weights on you and then telling you that for $5 they'll take them off for the week.
Making the player progress only in short but intense bursts and then wait for their next fix of game.
Yeah.
You either force them to pay more money to gain more energy, or to
It's like you're wearing like a chastity belt for 23 hours and they take it off for 1 fucking hour, and then after that you've got it back on for the rest of the day. Unless you pay $5.
skip the timers, or you make them return tomorrow. And this is game design focused on the formation of daily habits. The psychological power of the habit has been studied for years. Motivational speakers talk about them, self-help books push them, and now gaming companies were looking to use them as a way to turn players into users. Because it wasn't just about the game being fun anymore. The focus wasn't on giving the player the best experience you could
Well, I
give.
think it's very important whenever you look at the terminology, right? I mean, this is it's a terminology change. Like, players are no longer players, they are now users. I think that's huge.
The letting the player enjoy it at their own pace. The focus was about the game being effective at encouraging a specific behavior response from the user.
Yeah.
Encouraging the user to return day after day is habit forming. Someone who plays your game habitually is more likely to remain playing even after the game itself has stopped being enjoyable. They're just continuing their habit. Along with this, game
I'm
designers
pretty sure people that played Farmville never played an actual game before in their life.
would also have friends on Facebook that may not be playing the game.
Oh my god, the updates from Farmville. Holy fuck, that was so annoying. Share your progress, share your progress. Oh, somebody gave you a gift. Log on to Farmville to claim it. Oh no.
And they wanted those friends to play the game, which is why they put the mechanics in the game.
I remember one time there was like a hot girl on Facebook, and I saw I had a notification from her, and I was like, yes. And then it was Farmville.
Share this achievement with your friend to get bonuses and get boosts. A huge amount of people began playing Facebook games not because they thought they would be the type of game they enjoy, but because they were doing their friend a favor and they were supporting their farm.
Indentured servitude online, I love it.
They were joining their mafia. And just like Maple Story's gacha being viewed by the players of the game, you could share the progress of your farm. You could show off how far along you were, which
recruit your nephew and your grandma to come work on your farm. And fucking work for free on your video game farm on Facebook. It's just like, whenever you break it down, it's so stupid. But it worked and people did it.
spurred competition. So we can add limiting progression per day and encouraging you to invite your friends to start the game to give yourself advantages or the ability to share your progression with the community, which is why achievements on almost all consoles and PCs are publicly viewable. Into the box of abusive monetization strategies. And while habitually playing something isn't generating money in itself, it does keep the audience around longer so they can be exposed to other more successful strategies. Now some people...
Well, it's more like, let's say every single time that somebody opens the game, there's a 10% chance that they're going to buy something. Well, then all you need to do is get them to open the game 10 times. So there you go. Now this is the goal. You got to get them to open the game 10 times. It's that easy.
Will point out that paying to advance more or paying to skip timers is in some ways similar to the old arcade process of dying and then putting more coins in to continue.
Yeah.
And it is similar, but there is a crucial difference. With an arcade game, you could, in theory, finish the game entirely on skill.
Yeah.
These timers and energy bars in games such as Farmville cannot ever be finished on skill alone, because you will hit a wall.
Yeah, there were no, as far as I know, there were no Farmville esports competitions.
That you will need to either wait for or pay to remove. But this wasn't everything. Nowhere near. Farmville had other strategies.
Yeah, TSM doesn't have a Farmville team.
Pay to make them progress faster, but not with money directly. Now you had to convert real money into a proprietary currency. In this case, farm bucks. And this is one of the most prevalent designs we still see used, because it does several psychological things disgustingly well. If you can buy
That would actually have been so fucking funny, though, whenever I'm thinking about it. Like, imagine if one of the big esports orgs just brought in, like, a bunch of the players' moms, and they had, like, a competitive Farmville team, and it was actually just, like, 7 of the, you know, like, their Counter-Strike players, like, their moms, just talking about the game. That would have been fucking hilarious. I would watch that, yeah.
Game, you can see the cost in a currency that you understand. But if the game
This might get spicy. No? Okay, good.
Such as gems or coins or platinum or farm bucks or whatever they want to call it, you make one mental step converting the currency from what you understand to what you don't understand. So all these things are now one mental step away from having real value, and that is hugely important, because even once...
And that's why all these games have like 2 or 3 different currencies, where you buy the you use your real money, and then you buy the in-game premium currency, and then you use the premium currency to buy the shop currency. It's like Lost Ark, you buy royal crystals and turn them into blue crystals, and then you spend blue crystals on items in the shop.
step is further than most people are willing to go.
So it's like, how much money are you really spending with, you know, like $400 or, you know, $100 of Lost Ark money? It's kind of hard to say because you've got to go through royal crystals, blue crystals, and gold.
So let's add that into the box. Proprietary in-game premium currency to obscure real-world value by a single step.
I also think that every single game this should be...
Oh, the chest actually disappeared.
I think that if you're going to have microtransactions in a game, I think that there is no consumer advantage that pricing in the store exists in crystals or... Oh, fuck. Is it messed up? Are we good? Testing 1, 2, 3. Is we big good? Oh, yeah, there it is. So, like, I do think that it should be just against the rules. Because, like, at a certain point, I think that what is really the government and regulatory agency's job? It is to protect individuals and consumers from predatory and unfair practices that companies have. And I feel like there is literally no advantage that having these different intermediary currencies provides to the player. This does not help anybody. This doesn't make it easier to understand. It just makes it worse. What's the line, though? What do you mean, where's the line? The line's simple. If you have something in the store, it's supposed to be in USD or whatever the currency of the... we're going to move this a little bit. Let me move this so now you guys can see how big the box is getting. There we go. Yeah, you just have everything in USD. Or, you know, euros or whatever, of whatever that currency is. Yeah, it should be in local currency only. And that's it.
Bonus points if it makes you convert the currency to multiple other in-game currencies, which is...
And you have to think about, why is it like this? Fundamentally, the reason why it's like this is because it is designed in a way to deceive you. So how is it good for the consumer that these things exist? Well, I'll tell you. It's not.
It's completely impossible to track in your own mind. So you need to buy the currency, and this is the next trick. The currency is usually sold in packs, and these packs are specifically sized to either be just under what you actually need, or very, very close to the next best thing, making you consider the next pack up.
They're not actually, well, they're not even either, which makes it even more difficult to, like, let's say you get 100 keys for $100. Well, each key is $1, but they don't do that. They have all these, like, weird, like, you know, odd numbers.
For example, if you need 100 gems to buy something in the game and gem packs are sold in packs of 90 or 205, you may as well buy the 205 pack.
Yeah, it's like at this point, right? I mean, at this point you're losing money if you don't buy 505 gems. Yeah, you're just losing money. You're stupid.
And there's a really good item in the game for 210. And you're only 5 gems short. But the next pack contains 500 gems. But there's a mega item for 505 gems. And you're only 5 gems shy of that now. You're not thinking about the number 505. You're thinking it's only 5 and then only another 5. Much smaller jumps for much higher jumps in value. You'd be a fool if you didn't take them, right?
Exactly.
So that's going in the box.
You'd be losing money if you didn't spend $100 on the Primo pack that gives you 20% extra crystals. I mean, you're basically stupid if you don't spend $100.
Of bad design. But let's say you do buy a pack. Whatever pack you buy, you will spend your unique in-game proprietary currency, but then you'll discover something else. The currency is non-refundable, and it is almost impossible to spend all of it. You'll always be left with some random number, like 4 gems or 2 bits of platinum. It's never 0. And this will bother you, because in your mind, that's a waste, and you don't like waste. And if you don't spend that currency, then the game is keeping it, and you've paid for that. But the only way to make this useful is to buy another currency pack. I mean...
This is just like... And like, the logic with this is so stupid, but it works. It's like, I remember one time I had a bag of gummy lifesavers that I ate, and it started making me sick. And I thought to myself, well, I've got to eat the rest of these as fast as I can so they won't be around anymore to make me sick. Exact same mentality.
Be a fool if you didn't do that, right?
I ate the whole bag.
Premium currency just sitting there in strange, unspendable amounts. It's annoying. and it's by design.
Got chest respawn yet?
But maybe you know all this, and you're not a fool. You won't spend
Awesome.
wait for a sale, but oh look, you're a brand new player, and there's an offer, a load of premium currency, a boost, a free limited time
That's
offer,
it.
and it's all for the low price of just under $1. Yeah, you definitely be a fool if you didn't buy this.
Yeah, you'd be an idiot.
I still have 3 crits. Now I have 1.
It's because studies have shown people who buy a single purchase are much more likely to make another purchase.
No, it's how to get. It's the salesman's technique is called getting your foot in the door, right? It's like as soon as you can condition a person into buying something or getting them into a habit of doing it, then it's so much easier. Now it's only a matter of time.
So you want to make the first purchase. It's really enticing. And it's because some folks need you to authorize in-app purchases. But once you've authorized one...
Exactly, and like also, yeah, you have your payment information saved. So now there's not that barrier to entry.
That's another reason I don't ever save my payment information on anything.
All you have to do is spend $100. You just click the button. It's not, I mean, you didn't even really spend the money. I mean, where'd it go? Like, you just click the button, it's done. So yeah, as soon as they have your payment info, it makes it way easier. Don't think, just buy it. Yeah, I mean, well, you have to just buy it because it's a limited offer and it's going to go away in 2 hours. And if you don't get it now, it'll be gone forever.
Not double check for any extra purchases. So you confirm that you want to buy the cheap pack, and then it doesn't double check for the expensive packs, because every screen between the player and a purchase is a moment they could doubt and reconsider.
And this is always true. And like, for example, this is the case with any sort of like online commerce, is that the different websites that you have can track whenever people leave the store. So like they can track, okay, this person put the item in their cart, okay, this person put the item in their cart and then went to the checkout, and it's like what the drop-off is at each different time period.
So you want to get those, are you sure you want to purchase those checks, agreed with and out the way, unusually cheap intro microtransactions just to get you into a habit. Let's add that to the box. And while the box is looking pretty...
Nice little exclamation point to my quest grind.
No, it's not.
Effective this ugly design can be, we only need to go forward 1 year to 20...
Oh my god, bro, like this fantasy team shit, I can't fucking believe that people buy this. Like, a lot of the times, like, you're buying the same characters. And, like, the worst part about this is, like, however stupid I think FIFA is, I spent, like, $40 on Lost Ark card packs yesterday. So, I mean, it's the same exact thing. It's oh, fuck. Idiot? Yeah, well, at least every year, though, if I get the Light of Salvation plus 30, I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, I won't have to worry about it for a long time.
10, and look at FIFA's Ultimate Team mode.
Yeah,
now, I'm not really into football games, but the FIFA franchise of games actually highlights the game design shift really well. It shows how games have moved from being a fun experience by themselves to a fun enough framework that other monetization tactics will cling to like limpets. In FIFA, you can buy loot boxes, which contain random cards of players, and use these to build up your ultimate team. The Ultimate Team mode takes several of the box ideas and combines them, and now the Ultimate Team mode makes more money than the box.
Holy fuck, man. Oh, we are really in for some really interesting days, aren't we? Oh my god, this is so ridiculous. Like, we are triple fucked. Like, yeah, gotcha indeed. I think that, again, all this stuff is enabled by gambling. Like, if, for example, on the FIFA store, they had fucking Messi on the store, and he was $500, okay? Nobody would buy it. But the reason why they're buying it is they're getting eaten one bite at a time. They're not getting swallowed whole with the $500 purchase right immediately, but it's one bite at a time. It's the gamba that enables these purchases. Because I think that the amount of people who would actually sit there and spend $500 just to have that card, and you knew that the only way that somebody had that card is that they spent $500, people would laugh at it. And if you think that I'm wrong,
I haven't seen any
laugh
bots
at
in a
you for
while.
Spending $8 on Twitter. Think about how stupid you've got to be to spend $500 on a FIFA game that gets outdated next year.
Be careful out there.
Sales of FIFA itself. In fact, since 2018, FIFA Ultimate Team has generated over $1 billion in revenue per year for EA. In 2021, they made 1.6 billion. And it happens every single year. And the cards you buy in the Ultimate Team for 1 year cannot be used in the next year.
Why not? Why not? Why can't you use the cards in the next year? I wonder why.
The microtransactions now have a shelf life. Horse armor may last forever.
That's
but what
right.
if it didn't?
Right.
If you could make a
My light of salvation will whenever I get my light of salvation up to level 30, it's gonna be forever too.
player pay for it again and again every year. Let's add that to the box. Yearly repeating microtransactions. Now, as a developer, you'd look at this thing, this box, and think, wow, selling my game isn't the profitable thing anymore.
No.
It's what I can sell within the
Right.
game. By now, the box of abusive monetization strategies
It's getting
is so
bigger.
big, it's almost impossible to ignore if you are making a game.
And this was, like, we haven't even gotten to 10 years ago, okay?
I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream because I'm just gonna tailor this shit and I'm gonna get off and get in the shower. So, toodles.